My life had been fulfilling. I was a doctor, well known and respected in my field. Years ago, I discovered my family possessed a remarkable gift, the ability to heal anyone. When I turned 18, just before I headed to college, my parents sat me down and shared our family's secret. They explained that long ago, one of my ancestors on my mother's side lived in a tribe deep in the Brazilian rainforest. In an attempt to honor one god, they angered another. As a result, they were both cursed and blessed. The curse was that every newborn would die from a deadly genetic virus. However, in response to their devotion to the god they had pleased, they were granted the ability to heal those who were terminally ill or suffering from fatal diseases. But the price for this gift was steep. Each time it was used, the healer would feel the pain of the patient as if they were experiencing the disease and dying themselves. Fearing exploitation, they used their gift sparingly. My parents explained how I would know when to use it. I would feel an overwhelming presence, something clawing at me, and I would need to touch the person in pain, drawing it into myself. I took their words seriously and headed off to college. College was a wonderful time. I completed my PhD and began working in a hospital in New York. It wasn't until I was 32 that I first used my gift. A 10-year-old boy was dying of lung cancer. I felt a deep sympathy for him, knowing that aside from pain management, there was nothing else we could do. I felt a terrible, haunting energy around him and wished I could take away his suffering. As I gently patted his head, the pain hit me, unbearable, as if I was experiencing his disease. I nearly passed out, but just as quickly, it passed. Remembering my parents' advice, I ran tests on the boy to verify what had happened. Most thought I was crazy for doing additional tests, but after 2 other doctors double-checked, we found the boy was completely healthy. After a week, we released him, certain he was out of danger. Additionally, we discovered that the boy had produced a new chemical in his body, something never seen before, that helped correct the cancer. I synthesized this chemical and patented it, quickly becoming wealthy from the royalties. I used my ability countless times throughout my career, each time helping to create new treatments for some of the deadliest diseases. One treatment, I later found, had already originated from the rainforest but had never been tested for medical use. I theorized that our gift allowed us to harness the healing properties of plants unknown to modern science. After all, native tribes have long used plants to cure ailments that we struggle to treat. By the time I was 50, I had become one of the most successful doctors in the world. I decided to scale back my practice as my eldest child, Jack, was about to become a father. I wanted to spend more time with my grandchildren, but I also needed to teach Jack how to use his gift. I had missed a lot of time with my own children, and I didn't want to make the same mistake again. Over the years, I only intervened in special cases, when a person under 20 was terminally ill and there seemed to be no other option. The last person I helped was a 15-year-old girl named Ashley. "How are you feeling today?" I asked. "I'm okay." "Coughs, you're not my usual doctor." "Who are you?" Ashley responded. "I'm Dr. Codberry, here to see if I can help you," I said, noticing her eyes widen. "Looks like you've heard of me. You're the best doctor in the world, right? Are you going to work a miracle on me too? Please?" Ashley said cheerfully. "Yes, I am. You've got too much ahead of you to let this stop you." "You're very bright and obviously quite the looker," I replied, and she giggled. She was a redhead, attractive with a good figure, her charm was obvious. "How do you know that? Is that another one of your abilities, doctor?" "Besides curing people, I mean," Ashley asked with a curious tone. "Not really. I learn about everyone I help. And from what I've seen in your charts, this is probably the last time you'll be conscious before the virus reaches your spinal cord. Let's not get into details, though. Now, just lie back and rest. You'll wake up in a couple of hours after I do the procedure." She started to lie down, but suddenly began shaking uncontrollably. "Oh no, the virus is much more advanced than we thought," I thought. "Hold on, Ashley. I promise I'll cure this, even if it's the last thing I do," I shouted as doctors rushed in. I grabbed her hand as they tried to calm her down. The pain hit me again, but this time something felt different. I passed out. "She's coming through." "Dr. Codberry must have done it again," I heard someone say. "Yeah, I did it in time," I thought to myself. "Remember, once he wakes up, we need to give him the blood sample so he can patent another one of his miracle substances, as per the agreement," another voice added. "I wonder if I'll get another reward for this," I thought again. "Guys, I think Dr. Codberry looks a little strange." "Does he look like he's shrinking?" another doctor remarked. That was the last thing I heard before I blacked out again. When I regained consciousness, it was night. A couple was sleeping in chairs near my bed. I was in the same room as Ashley. Why am I in her room? What happened? I wondered. I noticed a note on my forehead and picked it up to read. Are my arms and hands smaller? Maybe I'm just not fully awake, I thought, trying to make sense of it. The note read, "Dear Jack. First, don't panic until you've finished reading. The reason you passed out is because you've been using your ability too much. We always told you to be careful with it because it grows stronger each time you use it. That may sound like a good thing, but it's not. The God we spoke of, the one who cursed the tribe, learned of the gift we received. He waged war with the other god until a pact was made. Whoever uses their ability will see it grow stronger. It will grow until it consumes them. Then they will never use their gift again or return to their life. Instead, they will become a copy of the person they saved and live alongside them forever. What they have done will be erased, and their spirit will be taken by me to do with as I see fit. We didn't fully understand the last part until just before you were born. Your great-uncle Mark used his gift to save a close friend of his and became his twin. The friend was saved, but as for you, according to the deity, you must become the girl you just saved. Don't worry about your family. We've already spoken with them, and it's been arranged that you'll be declared dead. The government will move you and your new family to Miami, Florida, and your identity will be replaced by Ashley's. You won't remember this, but our family has long-standing connections with them, and your legacy being erased would be like a nuclear disaster. We want you to know we'll always love you, and so will your old family. Please, don't contact anyone you've known before, or everything you've worked for will be lost. With love, Mom and Dad." I stared at the note, reading it over and over in disbelief. I was afraid to look at anything else. Slowly, I lowered my eyes and saw two mounds beneath me, along with a smaller, distinctly feminine body. I ran a hand behind my back, feeling a fistful of hair, and realized it was blonde, reaching halfway down my back. The final confirmation came when I reached down and noticed the absence of something in my inner thigh. I don't know how loud I screamed, but I imagine it could have woken up cats in the next town. Everyone around me immediately stirred. This can't be real, I whispered to myself. A woman in her early 40s with short blonde hair rushed to my side and hugged me tightly. "Calm down, honey. It's going to be okay. Everything will be fine. The doctors have explained everything." At this point, I was in tears. A man, who had just finished telling someone else to return to their bed, walked over and gently held my hand. He looked to be in his mid-40s, with graying hair that was starting to thin. Both of them appeared fit and healthy. He spoke softly, "You're little Jessica Wallace now." He patted my arm. I cried and sobbed for what felt like an hour or two before finally drifting back to sleep. "Mary, do you think she'll be okay?" John spoke quietly to his wife. "I hope so. Eventually, she'll adjust," Mary replied. "I don't know if I can handle 3 of them now." "I'm too old for this," John said. "Well, I'm glad. Not only do I have Ashley back, but now I have another daughter too. Plus, when she woke up earlier, I felt that same connection I feel with Ashley and James. It's like I hit the lottery." "You're right, my dear. I guess I'll be fine, at least I won't have to change any diapers this time. Maybe I should rearrange the morning routine. Well, it takes us girls a little longer, especially at that age, Mary teased. Right, but James is going to be upset when I tell him he has to get up an extra half hour earlier. Or maybe the new house in Miami will have another bathroom. I think we should go for the 3-story house near the beach. It's in a good school district, and James could drive the girls to school. What do you think, John? Sounds good to me, so that's settled. Since everything's ready for the movers, why don't we drive down tomorrow? Okay, I'll take the girls shopping while you finish the paperwork. We'll meet at the house and grab James. I'll call him in a bit so he can direct the movers. Great idea. Just one more thing, Mary. Yes, John? Get some sleep. Good night, honey. They kissed and settled back into the cot that had been brought in earlier, but discarded after they couldn't bear to leave the girls. What a strange dream. I should be more careful with my gift. Imagine being stuck as my patient's twin. Wake up, sleepyhead. Oh, Mom told me everything, and I love you so much for what you did for me, and everything else. I can't wait to go shopping with you. Ashley's voice rang out. I awoke to see Ashley bouncing with excitement, while the woman from last night gave her a reproachful look. I thought I told you to let her sleep, she said to Ashley. From what I remembered about Ashley's file, this must be her mother, Mary. Sorry, Mom. I couldn't wait, and it's already 9. Plus, you said we'd go shopping as soon as we were better, Ashley apologized. Okay, I brought you girls some clothes from home. Help Jessica get ready and meet me downstairs. We'll go shopping for a bit, but this afternoon, we're driving to our new house in Miami, Mary explained. Do we have to move? Can't we just stay here? Ashley whined to her mother. Yes, we do. The government doesn't want anyone to know Jessica isn't your twin sister. If they find out, well, you know what could happen. Okay, I love you, Mom. I love you too, honey. She kissed Ashley on the head as she giggled, then walked over to me, kissed me on the head, and said, I love you too, honey. She left the room, and Ashley watched her go. She turned back to me, and I slowly sank beneath the covers. Come on, let's get ready. Hey, come on out of there. She yanked the covers off my bed. No hiding from me now, get up. She tugged at my arm. Normally, I could easily pull away, but now, being only 5 feet 2 inches and 105 pounds, with no real strength to hold on to anything, I was pulled off the bed. I hit the floor and started crying. I'm sorry, are you hurt? Ashley asked, bending down to check on me. Sobbing, I replied, no, I had a great job and a wife. I know I should have been there more, but I was trying. I don't know how to be a girl, and why am I so emotional? Hey, come on, Ashley said gently, hugging me. My life's not so bad, and I'll show you how to be a girl. Don't worry, I'm your family. There was something about her embrace that felt so comforting, like I could trust her. I'll even let you pick first from the clothes Mom brought. I took a deep breath, calming down. Okay. I stood up, and Ashley handed me the bag of clothes. Inside were matching blouses and skirts, except one set was green and the other blue, along with some undergarments, bras, sandals, and matching purses. I'll take the green set. Hey, that's my favorite color. It's official, you're my twin sister, she laughed, and we both chuckled. It made me feel a little better. As we got dressed, Ashley helped me with the makeup and putting on a bra. For the first time, I thought, I guess I can do this. My life before had been set, but I was still young, and I could be a doctor again if I wanted to. As we left the room and headed to the elevator, a guy caught my eye. Great, hormones are kicking in, and I felt my face flush red. He was cute, wasn't he, Jessica? Ashley said, noticing my blush. Should I go talk to him for you? She turned as if to walk back toward him. No, don't, I pleaded. We need to get to the lobby. Okay, but when we get to the beach, you won't be so lucky, she teased. I don't want to be gay, I muttered as she pressed the elevator button. It won't be gay. You're a girl now, so if you like boys, it's just normal. It would be gay if you liked girls, like the one back there, she said with a shrug. I couldn't argue with her logic. You know, sometimes I think you're just like me, the way you walk and act. It's so different from when you were my doctor. Really? I said as we entered the elevator. Yes, soon Mom and Dad won't be able to tell the difference, she said cheerfully. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? At first, I wasn't sure. But then, it felt almost like she was communicating with me telepathically. I think I do, Ashley. Yes, they'll be so confused, won't they? She said. Of course, Ashley, I replied. We both giggled as the elevator doors opened, and Mom was standing outside. Well, you two seem to be getting along. Now, which one of you is Ashley? I am, we both answered in unison. Haha, very funny. Now, which one is it? I am, we said again, giggling. All right, if that's how you want to play it. What's my name? Mary, we both replied. Okay, a little harder one. What's your favorite band? We both paused for a second, trying to think. Mom didn't catch on right away, so I received another mental image from Ashley, showing me a CD cover with All American Rejects on it. All American Rejects, we both answered together, surprising Mom. Okay, here's one I know Jessica won't get. Finish this sentence, I'm as happy as a. I saw another mental image, of Ashley saying Jack out of the box, and we both chimed in at the same time, Jack out of the box. Okay, I give up. I can't tell you apart. How do you both know the answers? Are you psychic or something? Mom sighed, as we giggled. But then, I suddenly realized what I had just done. Her expression shifted to one of concern as she looked at me. My face must have turned pale because I stood there, frozen in shock. Honey, are you okay? I think we are, or something, I said, turning to Ashley. Because I can read your mind. Really? What am I thinking now? She asked, raising an eyebrow. After she closed her eyes, I could see her thinking about kissing a guy around our age. The name Phil popped into my head. You're kissing a guy named Phil. I believe he's your boyfriend, I said. Mom glanced at Ashley, confirming her thoughts. Let me give it a try. Think of something, and I'll guess. I closed my eyes and focused on how nice a massage would feel right now. Oh, a massage sounds great right now, she said with a smile. Interesting, Ashley mused. Our minds must be linked since I used my ability on you and became you. Anyway, are you girls still up for some shopping? The trip includes a stop at the salon to get ready for Florida, Mom said excitedly. Ashley jumped up and exclaimed, yes. I just groaned. Come on, Jessica, it'll be so much fun. Ashley cheerfully urged. Okay, but be gentle, I sighed. They both laughed as we made our way outside. I nearly went for the driver's seat but quickly corrected myself and got into the minivan behind the driver. Ashley climbed in beside me. So, why did you choose Florida? I asked during the ride. Yeah, why Florida, Mom? Anything special? Ashley added. Well, the insurance company I work for has a branch there, Mom explained. They were looking for a candidate for a higher-up position when the government called them and said I'd be perfect for it. They couldn't say no to the government, so they had no choice but to hire me. It'll look like a promotion and transfer. Oh, by the way, James doesn't know about Jessica yet. We're waiting until we get home to make the big announcement. Having you there will show that we're serious, she finished. We arrived at the mall and walked into Jock's hair salon. After getting our hair styled, we sat down in massaging chairs while they did our nails. After some convincing from Mom and Ashley, we even got a full wax. Finally, they redid our makeup, and we were free to go. Next, we headed to a clothing store, I don't even remember the name, and tried on everything. It felt like we went through every kind of clothing before finally landing in the swimwear section. Most of the clothes we picked were matching, so Ashley and I would look alike. Despite myself, I was actually enjoying the shopping. After we got matching green bikinis, we headed back to the minivan. On the drive, Ashley and I exchanged mental images of what we could do to James later. "What are you girls talking about back there?" Mom asked. "Nothing," we both replied, giggling. Mom rolled her eyes. We stopped by the hospital to pick up Dad, who was finishing up some paperwork. It was around 1, so we grabbed McDonald's for lunch and made sure to get something for James. We drove up to a 2-story house in a suburban area. As Ashley and my parents headed inside, I slowly approached the door. After all, this wasn't really my house. The inside was neat and tidy, decorated with paintings and leather furniture. It was clearly the best room, so it wouldn't reflect poorly on them if anyone looked in. I looked around, feeling lost. What was I doing? These weren't my family. They were my patient's family. They were taking me in because I had nowhere else to go. I couldn't do that to them. I needed to leave, to start somewhere new where no one knew me. I was smart enough to make it work on my own. Besides, they didn't love me, they just wanted to make sure I didn't go back and let Ashley die. I started running, not stopping until I was a few blocks away, at a local park. The whole time, I was crying uncontrollably. Why me? I just wanted to help, I sobbed, curling up on a bench and letting the tears fall. Meanwhile, back at the house, James sat on the couch, watching TV, eagerly awaiting his family's return. Mom had told him the doctors had cured Ashley and that they would be coming home today. She also mentioned that she'd been promoted and that they'd be moving to Florida. James felt a mixture of excitement and sadness. Now, he had to help the movers with packing, but it wasn't too bad, and Mom did say they were bringing home a big surprise. Maybe it was an Xbox 360. "Hi honey, we're home and brought lunch with us," Mom called out to James as she entered. "Hi Mom, I missed you." "Where's Ashley?" James jumped off the couch to greet her. "I'm right here, dork," Ashley shouted as she walked in behind Mom. James immediately pulled her into a tight hug. Dad followed right behind them with the food, and they all made their way to the kitchen. In the excitement of the greetings and the food, the Wallace family didn't notice Jessica's absence. "Mom, are you trying to fatten me up with another value meal?" James asked, raising an eyebrow. "No, those are for Jessica," Mom replied. "Well, I guess we should explain things while we're eating." She looked around. "Ashley, where is she?" She was right behind Dad. "Did she use the bathroom?" "Wait, she wouldn't know where it is," Ashley said, sounding unsure. All eyes turned to Jack, but he just shrugged. "Ashley, go see what's taking her so long," Mom instructed. "Mom, what's going on?" Jack asked with a confused look. "We'll explain when we're all together." They continued eating, but as they heard Ashley's footsteps going around the house, they started to wonder what was taking so long. A moment later, Ashley appeared in the doorway, her face filled with panic. "She's gone," Ashley said, her voice trembling. "What do you mean, she's gone?" Mom asked, her face confused. "I mean, she's not in the house or outside," Ashley explained, her voice filled with fear. Then she gasped. "She must have run away." The room filled with a wave of fear as they all scrambled to act. "Mary, you take Ashley and walk around to see where she might have gone." "I'm going to drive around the neighborhood." "James, stay here in case she comes back," Dad shouted, taking charge. "What does she look like?" Jack asked, still confused about who they were talking about. She looks just like me, Ashley replied as they headed for the door. What? Jack shouted, even more confused. Honey, no time to explain. She looks just like Ashley. If you see her, call our cell phones, Mom said, urging them to leave. Okay, Jack replied, sitting down to keep an eye on things. A few houses down, Mary leaned over and asked Ashley, where do you think she would have gone? I don't know, she doesn't know the neighborhood, and I've never run away, Ashley said, sounding frustrated. What about that mind ability you two seem to share? Let me concentrate and try, Ashley said. She closed her eyes and focused on thinking about Jessica. It's hard to see, but I think she's crying. There are a lot of trees and some swings. She must be at the park next to the elementary school. Let's hurry then, Mom replied, and they started walking quickly to the park. When they arrived at the park, they started scanning the area. After a few moments, they spotted Jessica curled up on a bench near the swings. Mom, there she is! Ashley nearly shouted. Quiet, we need to make sure she doesn't escape again before we let her know we're here, Mary said softly. The two of them stealthily approached from different directions. Jessica screamed when they suddenly grabbed her. Let me go, she shouted, struggling, but she couldn't break free. Calm down, honey, it's just us, Mary said gently. Jessica gave up on trying to escape and collapsed into Mary's arms, crying. There. Tell us what's the matter, Mary spoke softly in her most comforting voice. Why do you care? I'm not your daughter, I just look like her. I'm just a burden forced on you. I don't want to do that to you. I can take care of myself, Jessica sobbed. Oh, and where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Everyone else thinks you're just a teenage girl, Mary replied bluntly, trying to bring her back to reality. I don't know. I'll figure it out, I guess, Jessica said, her voice quieter. If you try to make it out there on your own, you'll probably end up working as a waitress, or worse, Mary said coldly. She regretted her harsh words when Jessica broke down again in her arms. I want you to stay because I love you just as much as I love Ashley and James. The rest of us feel the same. We want you to become whatever you want to be in life. If you want to be a doctor again, we'll help you get through medical school. I'd give up everything I have for you, just like I would for any of my other children. You're my daughter now, special circumstances or not. Mary's tone was gentle now. Really? Jessica asked, looking up at Mary's face with a mixture of hope and disbelief. Yes, Jessica, really, Ashley chimed in from her other side. Mom quickly made a call to Jack to come pick them up. Besides, Jessica, now we girls have an unfair advantage on game night. They all laughed as Jack pulled up, and they watched him get out and walk toward them. Is everything okay now? Dad asked, looking concerned. It is now. Okay, let's get you home, honey, Mom replied. They all walked toward the car in silence, with Mom holding on to Jessica tightly, not wanting her to slip away again. Once inside the car, Ashley sat on one side of Jessica, and Mom climbed into the back seat on the other. As the car pulled away, Jessica could hear the door locks click into place. She couldn't help but think that even if she wanted to run away again, she couldn't. But she was happy to know they cared so much about her. James had been watching from the driveway. As soon as he saw the car coming down the street, he'd been trying to figure out who they were talking about. At first, he thought it was just his dad in the car, but then he noticed people in the back. As they got out, he saw his sister get out on the side closest to him. His mother was on the other side, waiting for the last person to get out. At first, he thought it was just Ashley getting out again, but as he realized it was someone else, it hit him. Now he understood why they said she looked like Ashley, because Jessica looked exactly like her. James stood there, dumbfounded, watching them head into the house. He might have stayed there longer if his mom hadn't called for him to come inside. They were in the kitchen when he walked in, and Dad was standing in the doorway, blocking the entrance. After moving past his dad, James saw his mother and Ashley sitting on either side of Jessica. They were sitting so close to her, almost as if to keep her from moving. James couldn't stop marveling at how much she looked like Ashley and who she really was. "James, this is Ashley, and Ashley, this is James," Mom said, making the introductions. "Hi, James," Jessica said shyly. James didn't respond immediately, still processing that she sounded exactly like his sister. He might have kept staring if it wasn't for his dad clearing his throat as a gentle reminder. "Oh, hi, Jessica," James finally said, holding out his hand to shake hers. She smiled and shook his hand. He took a seat and asked, "So, who are you, and why do you look like my sister?" "James, this is your new sister." When they were treating Ashley, well, let's just say an accident happened, and her doctor ended up like this. If he hadn't done what he did, Ashley would be dead right now. "So, now she's going to live with us and be part of our family," Mom explained. The rest of the family nodded in agreement. James sat quietly, trying to wrap his head around what kind of accident could have caused her doctor to look like his patient. After a few moments of contemplation, he finally accepted it. "Okay, but if you think I'm giving up my prime bathroom slot, you're crazy." Everyone laughed at his remark, except Jessica, who finally forced a smile once she realized he was just kidding. "Now, James, we do need time to look beautiful, unlike you," Ashley teased. "Yeah, and I need my beauty sleep," James shot back. Not ready to give in, Ashley quipped, "Well, you need to spend more time on your smell." Jessica probably ran from it. James turned red, realizing he'd forgotten to put deodorant on that day. He glanced over at Jessica and asked, "Are you sure you're like my sister? You don't talk half as much as she does." This time, everyone, including Jessica, laughed. "Of course I am. Why else would I come back?" Jessica responded with more confidence. James got up and walked over to Jessica, offering her a hug as a sign of acceptance. "Sorry to cut things short, but we need to hit the road to get to our new house before dark," Dad interjected. Everyone filed out to the car. Dad and Mom took the front seats, and the kids filled the back, with Jessica sitting in the middle. "Okay, guys, what do you want to watch? We Were Men or The Wedding Planner?" Mom asked, pulling out DVDs for the car's built-in player. "Wedding Planner," Ashley said. "We Were Men," James replied. "It looks like it's up to you, Jessica," Mom said. Jessica had enjoyed We Were Men back when she was a guy and hadn't cared much for The Wedding Planner, so she went with the obvious choice. "How about We Were Men?" "Okay, majority rules," Mom said, popping the movie into the player as James silently gave a thumbs up. "I thought you were supposed to be on my side." Ashley pouted at Jessica. Jessica simply shrugged. "Nope, I've converted her to my evil ways," James said, mocking his sister. They all settled in and started watching the movie. After a while, Ashley drifted off to sleep while James and Jessica remained focused on the screen. Jessica found herself less interested in the explosions and fighting scenes than she used to be. Instead, she found herself drawn to the struggles of the soldiers' wives. Soon, her thoughts shifted to the wife she had in her past life. She wondered if she had felt the same way as these women. She quickly wiped away the tears that had started rolling down her cheeks. After the movie ended, the family stopped at a travel plaza to stretch their legs and fill up the gas tank. James headed to the bathroom while the girls wandered through the shop inside. Holding up a shirt with writing on it that Jessica couldn't quite see, Ashley called over, "Hey Jessica, look at this." Jessica rolled her eyes. "Don't you ever get tired of shopping?" Jessica, you speak heresy. You must now suffer the consequences and try this on," Ashley giggled. Reluctantly, Jessica tried it on and ended up buying it. Ashley got a similar shirt. Jessica's shirt read Clone 1, and Ashley's read Clone 2. They returned to the car and began the last stretch of their journey. Mom put the wedding planner into the DVD player, and it was James's turn to fall asleep. Jessica, however, was really getting into the movie. She enjoyed the romance and the comedy. As the movie ended, they pulled into the driveway of their new home. Jessica looked out at the impressive 3-story house. After a tour, she learned that the house had a spacious living room, kitchen, master bedroom, and full bathroom on the first floor. The second floor had another living room, a laundry room, a bathroom, and 2 bedrooms. The third floor featured a second master bedroom with a walk-in closet and another full bathroom. "All right, girls, you'll get the third floor. James, you can have the larger of the 2 bedrooms on the second floor, and the other will be a guest bedroom." "We'll take the bedroom on the first floor," Dad explained. The family didn't have much to unpack yet, as the movers would arrive the next day. After settling in, they all gathered in the living room. "How about a game of charades before we head to bed?" Mom suggested. They all agreed, as there wasn't much else to do. Ashley immediately picked Jessica, leaving Mom and James as a team with Dad as the official judge. James got 2 out of 5 scenes right before it was Jessica's turn. Ashley guessed all 5 of her scenes correctly. James was upset by this since Jessica hadn't moved at all during her turn. The official decision was to switch the teams, so Jessica and James were together, with Ashley and Mom as a team. By the end of the night, Jessica and James had won by 2 points. Everyone then headed to bed. Later that night, Jessica had a nightmare in which she was living happily as a girl with these people. Suddenly, they discovered she was an imposter and chased her out of town. She woke up with a start and decided to get a glass of water. As she made her way toward the stairs, she tripped over something. She immediately recognized it as Ashley, who must have gotten out of her cot to make sure Jessica wouldn't leave. Jessica tried to move, but Ashley had a hold of her leg. "You're not going anywhere," Ashley said sleepily. "I'm just getting some water," Jessica replied, trying to shake her off. "Not without me, you're not," Ashley said, getting up. "And who are you, my jail keeper?" Jessica teased. "No, I'm your bodyguard." "To guard your body from going places it shouldn't," Ashley replied with a grin. "And just where would that be?" Jessica asked. "Anywhere I'm not," Ashley said, and they both giggled quietly. They tiptoed downstairs to the kitchen. They could hear Dad snoring from the living room. Apparently, he had the same idea as Ashley and decided to block the front door. After getting a glass of water, they quietly made their way back upstairs. Jessica slipped back into her cot, but Ashley decided the floor was too uncomfortable. She climbed into Jessica's bed. "I'm going to sleep in your bed tonight in case you have more trips to make," Ashley said, her voice drowsy. She must have stayed up longer than Jessica had and gotten little sleep until Jessica tripped over her. Jessica hugged her tightly, thinking that these people really did love her. Thanks for watching. If you liked this story, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Also, consider becoming a member for exclusive stories and early access.